Hello everyone, Master Jonathan back here again with the next installment in our little tenet mini-series here. Now we are on to the fourth tenet, which is self-control. Now self-control is usually pretty self-explanatory, but again we're going to start off with the definition I got from the dictionary, and then we're going to go from there. So according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, self-control is considered control over your feelings or actions, restraint over one's own impulses, emotions, or desires. Now, part of that definition I actually don't like in terms of restraining your emotions, your feelings, things like that. I mean, it's good to have control over your actions. You know when to act appropriately, when not to, and act accordingly where you are, right? In class, there's a certain way to act, and there's rules that you need to follow, and we expect those to be followed as well. So that's having self-control over yourself in terms of your actions. All right, now self-control over your actions can be very good. Could be somebody gets you angry, you don't hit them. All right, pretty self-explanatory there. So self-control can be very good in that sense. Now, in terms of, like I said, the restraint over your emotions, if you think about restraint, what does it do? It tends to get really tight, it bottles you up, and it's not escaping. There's no way for it to get out. All right, and if you keep always restraining emotions, ones like anger, sadness, things like that, it can be very stressful on you. It can hurt you, like internally, right? And you're in your mind and your heart, things like that. So what we need to do, self-control, using it in a different way than maybe you would expect. So self-control in terms of, yes, I'm going to have to control my actions in this sense, right? Because you're not supposed to just deck everybody that you don't like, things like that. You need to act certain ways at school, at home. Now, self-control can then be beneficial in terms of, well, how do I use self-control when those emotions do come up? All right, now I need to keep them at bay or hold them steady in terms of my actions and my emotions in the moment. All right, somebody gets me angry. I don't want to do something. I don't, like being somewhere, things like that. I have to deal with those in the moment, but self-control later on is what we're going to talk about now. So instead of restraining our emotions and just holding them in all the time, we're going to learn how to release them. All right, self-control is also learning how to release your emotions and get control over yourself and your own emotions so that you're not constantly in this up and down thing, or you're stuck in this sense of anger and self-loathing because somebody said this to you or this thing or that thing. Right, there's many challenges in life, right, and we have to persevere through those challenges like we talked about last time. And then we need to control ourselves in the moment. But then how do we get rid of those when they're either happening or later on? Now, there's a few things that I really like to do myself, and we even teach this in classes because it does help us calm ourselves down and get ourselves more centered for class and performing our techniques. The first one is breathing. Right? Breathing is very, very important, but it's a certain type of breathing. It's got to be deep breathing. Now when I say deep breathing, it doesn't stay up here in your chest. It has to come all the way down to your stomach and then to your center. All right, the lower you breathe, the better. So if you're taking deep breaths, belly breaths, right? So your stomach has to extend, your chest is going to rise a little bit. Make it long, make it smooth. All right, and don't just breathe through your nose either. Use your mouth. All right? When you use your mouth, it helps you get more in touch with yourself and your body and your feelings, and it helps you release them a little bit better. All right, it's a fun little kind of like mental trick or physical trick to help release some of that tension automatically. Right? Because if you're angry, you're clenching your jaw, you can't breathe as deeply. Right? Or you're clenching your throat, you can't breathe as deeply. So breathing through your mouth will help release that, and that'll help you release some of the anger, the tension, the aggression that you're having. Right? Whenever you get angry, everything tightens up. You breathe and you relax. Nice, deep belly breaths. Now, another thing you can do, now this is one you may want to do, probably not in the moment when somebody's bothering you, but something you can do later on, is you have to shake off the feelings. Right? Get them out of your body. Now, the best way to do that is to actually shake, vibrate yourself. So if you're sitting there, don't just kind of try to breathe. Actually get up and kind of like actually shake yourself out. It's kind of goofy, yes, but it's one of the best ways to really loosen your body up, get that tension out, as you're breathing, and it makes you feel 100 times better. Don't just do the face, your arms, your chest, your legs, all of it. Shake everything out. You can jump around, bounce around a little bit, stay relaxed. You can yell, you can scream, right? Screaming into a pillow can be very helpful. Anything to let it out. So then it's not bottled up inside and stuck with you all day, every day, and then it just keeps building and building and building and building. You gotta let it go, right? So self-control, right? Control in the moment, controlling your actions in the moment, right? Like we talked about at the beginning of the video here, right? Can't be hitting everybody, right? There's certain ways to act in certain places, so we keep those exactly how we're supposed to, right? We control our actions using self-control. But then we have to control our emotions to a point, right? Because we can't let them sit with us. We can't restrain them and hold on to them forever. You have to let them go. All right, so breathing, shaking, bouncing, screaming, any of those things can be very, very helpful. All right, even finding a punching bag, right? Punching bags to hit, things like that. Anything to let the aggressive feelings out. If it's sadness, cry. It's great to cry. It's let yourself feel the sadness, let yourself feel what's going on, right, on your own, right? You can do that on your own. You can do it in the safety of your room, your home, wherever you are. Just find a nice, safe place that you can let go so you don't have to worry about anything. Now you can have better control over your emotions, right? It's general control, not restraint. You're not trying to hold on to it, right? You keep it in check until you're able to release it. And release is the ultimate goal in terms of self-control of your emotions. So that will conclude our video here on self-control. All right, I know it seems pretty self-explanatory, but there's a lot that goes into it, and it is one of the more challenging things that we do deal with in our lives, right? This is also where our perseverance comes in. And courtesy as well, right? Being kind to yourself, being kind enough to yourself to know, I have these feelings, let's deal with them, right? So again, this will conclude the video. The last tenet, which we'll have up next week, is indomitable spirit, which we'll talk about that then. Other than that, I will see you next time.